Joining us via Skype is a consultant psychiatrist to discuss this now, Bolu Tife Ayatokun. It's good to have you, Bolu. Good morning. Now, talk to us about mental health, especially in Nigeria. The cases responsible for mental health, are they peculiar to countries and regions or people?
Not particularly. Worldwide, it's said that 1 out of every 4 persons has a mental health disorder. Our problem in Nigeria seems to be the fact that we really don't know what we classify as a mental health problem. It's not everybody that we see on the streets, vagrant, that is mentally ill. People with mental illness come in different forms and shapes. Mental illness has to do with poor sleep. People that don't sleep well see the psychiatrist. We have the major and minor mental illnesses anyway. So it's the major ones that people really talk about and say, okay, yeah, this person has a mental illness. They forget to talk about the minor mental illnesses. We have so many of them, and usually when people have these problems, they come to see the psychiatrist. But there's so much stigma associated with mental illness in this environment that people wouldn't really come to see the psychiatrist, or they wouldn't even talk about their mental health.
All right, Bolu.
They're forced to.
Yes, Bolu, when you say there are minor mental health issues, can you make us, how do they manifest so we can understand some of these things, especially when one decides to examine himself or herself?
Okay. One of the minor mental illnesses, in the past, they used to call them neuroses. There are things like anxiety disorders, panic disorders, and even somatoform disorders. For the layman, this manifests as just being anxious. It's normal to be anxious. Maybe when you have an interview, you find that sometimes you are tremulous, then you can't really concentrate on so many things. But when this becomes like a norm, you're anxious almost all through the day, you have problems sleeping, you don't eat as much as you used to, you startle easily, then we say, okay, that person might have a minor mental health disorder. And then there are medications that we can use to help you function optimally. An example is maybe when someone is going for exams, and then the person, it's natural to feel scared, it's natural to be anxious when someone is going for exams. But when that continues for most of the day, or for every day for most days of the week, then we say it's a disorder. So those are some of the minor mental health issues. Some people are not able to sleep perpetually. They catch only a few hours of sleep a day, and then we find that during the day they tend to become irritable. They don't deal well with the normal stress of everyday life. Then it could be a mental health issue that they need to see the psychiatrist for.
All right, Bolu Tife Ayatokun, thank you very much for talking to us right now.
Us via Skype is a consultant psychiatrist, Bolu Tife Ayatokun. Thank you for staying with us. Dr. Bolu, you see, about 14 million Nigerians are said to be suffering from this condition. But the issue is, as a consultant, would you say the government is giving this issue the needed priority?
Okay, well, what we as psychiatrists say is that we don't think that the rate of suicide has really increased. We think there's just more attention to it. And unfortunately, it seems that there are many more suicides that occur than is being reported. And one of the things that can be done to help to reduce the rate of stigma, to reduce the rate of suicide, is to focus on mental health. Focus on your mental health. When you find that you are so stressed, you find that things are becoming overwhelming, then seek help, because there is always help readily available. And there are so many.
The issue of government placing priority on this matter, because 40 million Nigerians are suffering from this, and there are questions as to what the government is doing, especially assisting hospitals that treat persons in terms of all of this, if the needed attention is being given.
Yes, there is treatment for mental illnesses. Unfortunately, by the time these people get to the mental health practitioners, they would have taken so much time, and then the worse off than they should have been. Because of the understanding of mental illnesses, some people think it's a spiritual thing. Some people attribute mental illness to maybe an arrow from the enemy or such. So they have various places where they go before they eventually get to the psychiatrist for treatment, which shouldn't be so. In developed countries, we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists. When people are even willing to tell you that, fine, I'm going to see my shrink, I'm going to see my psychologist. But in Nigeria, even the doctors are stigmatized. So there are enough, okay, we don't have enough mental health practitioners, but we have quite a number of mental health practitioners. We have quite a number of mental health facilities available in this country. So it's just for people to seek help when they should. We are trying as much as possible to raise awareness. At least now, I know that there's so much awareness about it on social media, and with the recent, at least with the recent increase in suicide available in Nigeria, there is so much awareness about it. So let's just continue to increase this awareness. There are, like in Nigeria, in Lagos, for example, we have 2 federal institutions that we have three institutions, at least 3 government institutions that treat mental illnesses, and we have a number of private psychiatric facilities.
All right, Dr.
So
Bolu Tife, a consultant psychiatrist, thank you for your time on TVC News Breakfast.